If your onions are getting soft or moldy too quickly, chances are they're next to their worst enemy. For years, I thought my onions were spoiling because they were old, but the real problem was how I stored them. Today, I'll show you some simple changes that will keep your onions crisp, fresh, and flavorful for months. Stay tuned, because one of these tips could keep your onions fresh for a whole year. Have you ever wondered why the onions in your house spoil so quickly? There are many reasons, but the most common one stems from a habit many people unknowingly fall into: bringing onions home from the store and leaving them in plastic bags. It sounds convenient, but in reality, plastic bags are the main reason your onions spoil so quickly. Even if the bag has a few small holes, it still traps moisture, and moisture is the number one enemy of onions. In that confined, stagnant space, mold grows very quickly. Another important reason why onions spoil quickly lies in where you store them. Many people store onions next to potatoes for convenience, but in reality, this is a disastrous combination. Onions naturally release ethylene gas, a gas that causes nearby vegetables to ripen faster and sprout sooner. When potatoes absorb this gas, they sprout much sooner. On the other hand, potatoes contain a lot of water and constantly release moisture into the surrounding environment. This moisture makes onions soft, moldy, and rot faster than normal. So, one promotes sprouting, and the other creates moisture. And ultimately, both quickly spoil each other. The good news is the solution is incredibly simple. Just keep onions and potatoes a few feet apart and store them in two separate areas. With this small change, onions will stay dry, firm, and fresh longer, and potatoes won't sprout prematurely. Method 1. Storing onions in a breathable paper box or bag. This first method is simple and easy to apply, suitable when you buy a moderate amount of onions and want to store them for a short to medium period. First, prepare a paper box or bag with ventilation holes. The paper box or bag allows for good air circulation, limiting moisture buildup, which is the reason onions easily become soft or moldy if stored in a sealed environment. Then, arrange the onions inside, making sure not to stack them. Each onion should be placed slightly apart to avoid being crushed, helping them dry and retain their natural firmness longer. Once arranged, place the box or bag of onions in a cool, well-ventilated place, away from direct sunlight and high humidity areas such as near the sink or in a very hot kitchen. Locations such as a dry kitchen corner, a well-ventilated shelf, or a cool storage room are suitable choices. With this storage method, onions will be less likely to sprout, won't soften quickly, and will maintain their good quality for gradual use in daily life. If you check regularly and remove any onions showing signs of spoilage early, onions can last longer and reduce waste. Method 2. Hanging them in tights. Another great way to preserve onions for months is by hanging them. All you need is a clean pair of tights. This simple trick has been used for generations because it creates excellent airflow, something onions absolutely love. Start by dropping an onion into the heel of the tights. Then, tie a knot just above to hold the onion in place. Add another onion, tie another knot, and continue until you have a long string. This onion snake keeps each onion separate so they never touch each other. This means that if one onion spoils, it won't spoil the others. Once the string is ready, hang it in a pantry, a well-ventilated area, or a cool cellar. This method allows air to circulate freely around each onion, keeping the onion skin dry and preventing moisture buildup. This airflow helps prevent mold formation and prevents the onions from sprouting. Another advantage of this method is that it's very easy to use. When you need an onion, simply cut the sock holding it with scissors. Or, if you don't want to cut the sock, just untie the knot and take the onion out. You can then reuse the sock. With this classic but very effective trick, your onions can retain their freshness, crispness, and flavor for months. Method 3. Storing cut onions. Many times when preparing onions, you only use half and want to save the other half for later. The storage method is very simple. Use an airtight container. Prepare an airtight container and place a clean, dry paper towel at the bottom. The paper towel acts like a small sponge, absorbing moisture. The paper towel absorbs the excess water that the onions naturally release, keeping the container dry and preventing moisture buildup. Then, seal the container tightly and store it in the refrigerator. This method helps onions stay crisp, firm, and fresh for up to a week. If you notice the paper towel becoming damp after a few days, simply replace it with a new one. This way, you maintain a clean and dry environment inside the container. Another benefit of this method is odor control. Onions have a very strong smell, and paper towels help absorb some of that odor, keeping your refrigerator smelling fresh. Just make sure the container is tightly sealed so the smell doesn't spread to other foods, keeping your chopped onions fresh, crisp, and ready to use whenever you need them. Method 4. Freezing onions. This second method involves freezing onions, which is ideal for those who want to preserve onions for a long time and use them quickly when cooking. First, prepare a peeled and washed onion. Next, cut the onion in half, then cut it into pieces of a suitable size, as you would normally use them for stir-fries, soups, or sauces. Cutting them into familiar sizes beforehand will save a lot of time during preparation. After slicing, place all the onions in a Ziploc bag. Spread the onions evenly in the bag, squeeze out the air, and seal the bag tightly. Spreading the onions thinly in the bag helps them freeze evenly, preventing clumping and making it easy to take out portions when needed. Finally, place the bag of onions in the freezer for storage. With this method, onions can be stored for up to 6 months while still retaining their aroma and distinctive flavor. This is a very convenient and time-saving option, especially suitable for families who cook frequently. When needed, you simply take out the right amount of onions and add them directly to the dish without thawing or cutting them again, making cooking much faster and easier. The video ends here. If you have any comments, please leave them below. If you enjoyed the video, please give me a like. Don't forget to share it with your family and friends. Remember to subscribe to the channel. Thank you for your support. Goodbye. See you in the next video.